Alright, boys and girls, here we go with Excel 68 from the 4th grade. Today we're going to learn about area. Area. Here we go. This is a little tricky for some kids. Pay attention. Up to now, we have been measuring the length of lines. We've seen a line like this. We say, how long is this line right here in inches or centimeters or whatever? But for what we're going to do today is different than measuring a line. For surface area, we need square units. Now we're going to measure how many squares make up an area, make up a space. Surface area describes a rug, a wall that needs to be painted, or a field that a farmer will plant. Surface area is space. It can describe how big your paper is right now, the amount of space on your paper. Or look up at the ceiling. It can describe how much space there is up there on the ceiling. It's not a line. 1 square inch is a square that measures 1 inch on each side. So a square inch would be 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on that side, 1 inch on this side, and 1 inch on this side. So that's a square inch right here. It's all this space in the middle. It's not, there's a difference between an inch, that's an inch from here to here, and a square inch, which is what that is. For these problems, count the square units to find the area. So like on this one, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to say that that's 6 square units. Are those inches? Are they... Oh, you know what? I skipped something. I'm going to come back to it. Is that inches? Is that feet? What is it? Well, we don't know, but they're squares, and so there's 6 square units. Let's come back to this. How would you describe a square yard or a square meter? If a square inch is like this, how would you describe a square yard? Well, you should say that a square yard measures 1 yard on each side, right? That's 1 square yard. It's a lot bigger than what you see up here on the screen. And a square meter, same idea. You have 1 meter on each side. That's a square meter. All right, let's keep moving along here. Let's take a look at number 2. Oh, by the way, let's keep backtracking here on you. But notice that this first one measures 3 units on the side and 2 units on this side. So it's 3 by 2. And then there are 6 squares in the middle. 3 by 2 measures 6. All right, take a look at number 2. We want to know how many square units make up number 2. So go ahead and pause the video, figure that out, and then fill in this blank here. All right, so you could have counted them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Or the easy way to do this would be to say that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but there are 3 rows of those 6, and 6 by 3 makes 18. 6 times 3 is 18. All right, pause the video, do easy number 3, and then turn it back on. Oh, this is so easy. I'm sure you've got the answer already. 4 square units. Notice it's 4 on this side, 1 on that side. 4 by 1 makes 4. A square 1 centimeter on each side is called a square centimeter. Use your centimeter ruler with this rectangle and draw in the centimeter lines. Describe the area in terms of a square centimeter. Okay, so pause the video, go grab yourself a ruler, and then get ready to do this with me. Alright, so you should have a ruler now. If you don't have a ruler yet, pause the video. You need to have a ruler to do this. So when you put your ruler on the centimeter side, not on the inches side, and you measure across here, you should notice that this is 3 centimeters probably across there. And then you measure here, and that's 2 centimeters, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the lines at each centimeter mark like this, and this side is 3 and that side's 2 centimeters. And so how many, that's what you should do, drawing those lines, how many square centimeters do you have there? You should fill that in here of 6 square centimeters. Okay, 6 square, they're not 6 centimeters, 6 square centimeters. Looking at the rectangle, the lines form 2 rows of square centimeters with 3 squares in each row. Can you see a way to compute the area of a rectangle if you know the length and the width? This is 3, that's 2, and the answer is 6. How can you take what you know about the rectangle, that it's a 3 centimeter by 2 centimeter rectangle, and figure out that answer? Pause the video and write a little sentence in here to show how you can do that. Alright, so what you should have written is that you can multiply the length times the width. Right? Because 3 times 2 is 6. A formula is a way of writing a mathematical rule. Can you write a formula for computing the area of a rectangle? Let's do this together. Well, the area, we're going to say, is A, is equal to, what will we call this right here? Well, that's called the length, right? We talked about that right there. Let's make a letter for length. Let's put L. And then I bet you can figure out the rest of this. See if you can beat me to it. And then this is the width. And so we're going to multiply the length times the width, or a W. So this is called a formula or an algorithm for solving area. Area is equal to length times width. Alright, here are some shapes that they give you the length and the width, and you're going to figure out what the area is for these. You need to justify your answer, show your thinking on that. Don't just write the answer down. Let's do number 4 together. Well, this side is 5 kilometers and that side's 5 kilometers. So we know that there's going to be 5 going across here, and then another 5 squares, and then another 5 squares, and another 5 squares, and finally another 5 squares down here at the bottom. So altogether we have 5 times 5 squares, right? So you should write 5 times 5 equals 25. And then down here we're going to write 25 square kilometers. Hopefully you can write neater than I do with my stylus there. All right, pause the video. I think you should be able to do the rest of these. So go ahead and do 5, 6, and 7. Make sure you show the multiplication of how you solve that. All right, so you should have already done 5, 6, and 7. For number 5, you're going to write 8 times 2, and that's equal to 16 square. Make sure you write square yards. 16 square yards. Fix your answer if it's wrong. The next one, you have 4 by 3, which gives you 12, and you should have 12 square feet down there, not 12 feet, 12 square feet. It's a bunch of squares that are inside this shape here. And the last one, 7 times 3, and that would be 21 square, hard to write with this, sorry, square miles. This is a very large area. This is like a city right there that's shaped like a rectangle. Now, let me warn you, one of the things that kids really mess up on these is they always want to write 25 kilometers, not 25 square kilometers. When you're finding the area is going to be shown as square whatever, not just the unit of measurement, but square units. See if you can be one of the kids that always remembers to write square yards for area or square centimeters. And I have a little joke for you before you go. The other night I stayed up all night wondering where the sun went, and then it dawned on me.